What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Neil next in line, and we are here at the Yo Rabbit and Neil show. I got my host with me,
Jessica Rabbit.
And it's your boy Neil, baby, next in line. And we got somebody very special in the biddy this evening. He goes by the name of DJ Killa K.
Yeah, I'm in the building.
The energy.
I'm in the building. Yeah, usually I do the drum roll, but y'all already got the applause. So you know, I'm good. I'm here, man. Appreciate y'all having me, man. Yo Rabbit and Neil. Show Jessica Rabbit, my brother Neil.
Man.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, man.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you so
baby.
much, man.
But before we get started, we always start with a prayer.
Okay.
Yes, we do a prayer.
So
okay.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, God, in the mighty name of Jesus, God, I thank you for everyone in the building tonight. God, I thank you for just blessing us with the ability to use our voices and to speak. And maybe, Lord, that we touch somebody in a great way to inspire, to encourage, to enlighten, to uplift them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Yes, that's what it is, man.
We got DJ Killa K.
DJ Killa K in the building.
I'm here. I told y'all I was coming.
Yeah.
From Tampa, we had to get right. I told y'all.
Remember the Tampa?
Yeah, come on, man. I was like, man, we got to get more intimate, you know, because y'all was running and we was running around, and it was still a dope interview. But I appreciate y'all for that too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. You know, we've been basically, you know, thinking about so many things or what a lot of people are doing, especially DJs, right? And we just want to give DJs their flowers.
And
you are one of them, you know, out of so many, but you are one of them that I really want to just give you your flowers and say thank you so much on what you've been delivering to people and providing the service that you've been providing. And I'm just being honest, we feel that you are legendary. Yes. We feel that you are iconic. And I'm just being honest, man. I mean, and that's just the way we feel, because the way I look at it is I found out what the key to this whole world is. And in my opinion, I feel that the key is love.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the key. That can actually reboot the entire globe.
Yeah, definitely.
Just love.
Yeah, love.
What was instilled, what was embedded in us from the beginning was just being able to show love to somebody. And that's what I feel. And that's why I go along and know on this journey that I'm on to see what I can do to help others. You know what I mean? In a tremendous way. And even it's by saying something to uplift them or encourage them.
Course.
That's a choice that I decide to make.
Yeah.
Right? I could be whatever. I can be anything I want. Whatever I say I am, I am. You know what I mean? I believe that. So I believe that I am a legendary person. I'm an iconic person, but I am a beacon of light for others.
Of course.
And there's a message in me and everybody else around me.
Of course.
And you never know what that message is until the message comes out. And I may not even know what the message is for you.
Yeah.
But you may hear something here today that's something you maybe needed to hear, or maybe even needed some some clarification and validation, knowing that, you know what, boom, I'm on the right road. Right. I am on the right path. Someone sent him to say that to me. Someone up spiritually, you know, whoever you believe in. I believe in God and whoever you believe in, but we are sent here for a reason, and there's a reason why we're in this space right now. And
definitely.
And that's what I believe.
Definitely.
And you know, we bring people to the show because, you know, we give you your flowers. You guys work so hard.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't recognize, you know what I'm saying, your craft. So this is, you know, we about building relationships. And we here to give you your flowers.
I love it. Y'all definitely.
And you know, you're one of the dopest, you know what I'm saying,
I definitely
DJs.
felt the energy as soon as I stepped in the room. So just know I appreciate it, and it is felt. It is definitely felt.
Man,
you know, I'm real big on energy. You know, I like to say I could. You know, I could judge and I could
you could read it.
I could read. You know what I mean? I'm real big on energy, so I know when it's genuine.
Oh yeah,
and it's definitely.
Let me tell you, man, it's real here, man.
I like to say I'm so deep with it. I see people in colors. You know what I mean? Like that's how I get. That's how
so you speak in my language.
Yeah, exactly. So before, and even before the verbal. You know what I mean? I can honor, you know.
When you see me mean, when I performed at the Miami,
yeah,
and I was on stage and I was talking with you, it was almost like I felt that you was reading me from the get-go.
Of course,
you get what I'm saying? Because you deal with a lot of people, you deal with a lot of artists and stuff, and I know it was like almost you was checking me out at the same time. So it was like, me giving even flowers to other artists, like it take a lot for other artists. I was saying those things and you heard me, and you hit the boomer like,
of course,
you're like, he's saying it right, like,
because
you know what I mean? Because I was dropping the gems at the same time.
You was on the same thing I was on, and what I was trying to do with the showcase or with the open mic, you know what I mean? Exactly.
That's right.
And for you to be an artist, to be up there reciprocating what I do, or what I was trying to do every weekend, it was, it was just like, damn, so I had to give you a Funk Master Flex bomb.
I'm a big city, boom.
I had to give you a Funk Master Flex bomb for that one.
I love it. But I got a few questions for you.
Of course,
because we want to get to know you, and the audience want to get to know you
that's
as
what I'm
well.
here for.
How did your first gig DJing, what inspired you to pursue it in your career?
All right, so when it came to the DJing, I like to say I was kind of a late bloomer. You know what I mean, when it came to the DJing, because like for me, a lot of DJs, they started in high school doing house parties, or they might have been doing, certain things to that nature. But for me, I ain't start really DJing or getting into DJing till maybe college. You know what I'm saying? For me, it came late because growing up, DJing was never really my passion. You know what I mean? I was into like basketball and had a little NBA dream, so on and so forth. So I was like, I was a real hooper in high school.
Gotcha.
Things didn't pan out, as you can see. I'm like 5'4".
You 5'4". I see you 5'4". You 5'4" at the basketball.
So yeah, so you
could have been. Hold on, wait a minute. Now you could have been.
Nah, don't get it twisted though. Don't get it twisted, man. There was some great, short basketball players out there. But for me, after high school, I did all right in high school. But then when I got to college, it didn't really pan out.
Okay.
So then when I went to school, I was so focused on ball, I wasn't really focused on the studies. So when I got to college, I seen that it was another ball game when it came to like studies, and you couldn't really get over on studying right before the test and thinking you're gonna pass. So I kind of struggled in college. So I graduated. I went to Bethune-Cookman. Shouts out to Daytona. I was a Wildcat for a second. I did horribly. After that, I transferred to TCC. I went up to Tallahassee, so I went to Tallahassee Community College. For all those who don't know the lingo, the Florida lingo, that's Tallahassee Community College. I did okay up there, but I did so bad at Bethune-Cookman that I lost my financial aid. So then, I couldn't go to school without financial aid. So I ended up coming back home, and when I came back home, I was kind of at a crossroads. So I was like, damn, K, what you gonna do with your life? You know what I mean? Because I was working all type of odd jobs. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was selling weed. You know what I mean? So I was just trying to figure it out. So then one day I had an epiphany. I was in my room, and I started learning about passion and like what's your real passion and what can you get up and do every day without necessarily getting paid for.
Right.
So so I was like, damn, what I'm gonna do in my life? I was hating my job, but I started looking at what I'm good at. Right, some of the things that I do every day. So I'm what do they call it? I learned it the other day. Doing shadow work.
Shadow work.
Yeah, I learned that the other day.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I was doing like my own shadow work, trying to figure out my way in life. So then I was like, damn, K, you listen to mixtapes every day. You in the club every day.
Right.
Why not be a DJ? So but for me, when I was coming to the epiphany, it was far-fetched. You know what I mean? It was far-fetched. Like I wanted to do it, but I didn't know where to start, so on and so forth.
Right.
But you just keep it 1,000 through me selling weed. I knew DJs, you know what I mean? Because DJs are coming, so on and so forth. So I knew a couple DJs, and just through that relationship, right? Because that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
I wanted to kind of nurture it. So through the DJs that I knew, me being as humble as I am, I was like, man, I just want to come around and learn.
Right.
So through the the relationship of me, with the weed or whatever, I ended up just going to their studio and just chilling. And since I had it, it was just like but while I'm there and while I'm because I hate to make this a weed thing.
No.
But while I'm there and just kind of doing my thing, I'm learning, right? And this came at a time to where mixtapes was big.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? Yeah, so this is all going to tie together, right? So I went from the college to the... Yeah, so this all... So I'm figuring out my way in life. I know DJs. I reach out to them. I'm willing to learn. They kind of bring me into their studio, so on and so forth. So then I'm there, and then... like I said, this is mixtapes. This is like DJ Drama.
DJ
this
Drama
is
era.
Shout out to DJ Drama.
DJ Drama for sure.
So they were big into making mixtapes.
Yes, they
Aside from the turntable, they were real heavy in the mixtapes because this came at a time when you could physically sell your mixtapes. So they were, getting kind of money off of selling mixtapes. So I'm learning the whole process of how to make a mixtape. Right. Before I ever even learned how to touch a turntable. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna break you down how these mixtapes are, because you have blend tapes, to whereas they're mixtapes where they do on the turntable, so you're kind of blending and you're physically scratching and so on and so forth. You're just recording it, right? So that's more like a blend tape. So like a mixtape is like something you kind of go in the studio, you lay down your tracks, and you just add your drops and your tags, so on and so forth, and then you put it together. All right, I'm familiar. And you know what I mean? So this is what they were doing. So this was my foray into, if you want to say, DJing through the mixtape.
So like a segue,
exactly. So my being in the studio, watching them mixtapes. They also had a mixtape website, the way they would sell other people mixtapes. So I was in there, physically putting together the mixtapes, bagging them up, putting them in boxes. Like it was a real business. It was a real business. Aside from making it. Yeah, aside from making it. So
that was a trap exactly. Or something. Yeah,
exactly. So it was all right. So I'm in there trapping with the weed, but trapping with the mixtapes. And then they I was in there and I just took advantage. You know what I mean? I sat down and I just learned the process. Exactly. I soaked up everything that was going on in there. So from me being there and soaking up the process, going back to passion, I said, you know what? Why don't I put out my own mixtape? All right. So, just through me being there, learning what they did, I went and I took my little hustle money. I bought me a computer. I bought me some Pro Tools. I just made my own mixtape. I invested in myself, right?
That's the main thing, man. You believed in yourself.
Of course.
And you invested in yourself because you believed in
myself. I bought my computer. Wow. I learned from these guys, my DJ friends, on how to put a little mixtape together. So I came up with my own concept, my own cover. I had a host because back then it was real big on your mixtape had to have a host.
That's a fact.
So
it reminds me of the what's the name? That's DJ Killa K.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So you had to have a host. So back then, who was big? And we could do some Dade County history right now. My dog Smitty, he had a record, Diamonds on My Neck.
I remember Smitty.
Yeah.
I went to a Smitty concert.
Okay.
Mini concert.
Yeah.
It kind of wasn't a concert. It was like this. I think it was the Fat Boys before he passed away. We were invited to go down to Miami. Yeah. And he had matter of fact, he had just released Diamond on My Neck.
Wow.
He just released it. This is how long I've been around.
All right. So you sit there. Remember I say the energy and the connection there?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
I remember when
it's genuine, I know it.
You feel it. I remember it was me and my wife. We went in there. We were invited, and when we went there, we was going through rough times. You know what I'm saying, financially. But I was doing the music very, going hard, really hard back then. And I kind of was able to talk to people, and the energy that I was bringing, they invited me to the party. So me and my wife, we went there, and how it happened was actually off the radio. It was off the radio station, and I kind of manifested. I said, if I can just win that to be able to go and network with people, to be able to get into that, it would be cool. And then what happened was we woke up one morning, and I'm telling you, this came to me. Woke up one morning, and I heard them asking about, I think it was It Take Two to Make Her Thing Go Right. They was asking me who sung that song, who did it, but what year it came out, right? It was what year it came out in, and I woke my wife up like, yo, what year was that with the It Take Two? What year? Because I'm on the phone, and she was like, oh, it's I think she said 89 or something like that. So I hit him up. I said, it's 89. It's 89. It was like, what's your name? I was like, it's Neil, man, it's Neil. They was like, well, you won. I was like, what? Oh my God, I was talking about that. Boom, and we was able to go there, but we took it a step farther. We was able to get in VIP with Smitty. It was a step further. Damn. When everybody else was on the outside, like, how did you get in VIP? But it was the energy. As soon as I came through, dude looks at me and I'm like, yo, what's good? My name is Neil, man. Next in line. He's like, yo, I like your injury. Come on in the VIP right here with us. Bring your, that's your wife. Yeah, that's my girl. Oh, at the time she was my girl. I was like, yeah, bring your girl too. So we go in VIP.
Yeah.
And then with other guys, was like, how did you get to the VIP when I was just trying to get there? I was like, man, I don't know. I'm just my energy, man. I'm in there. So I get to see Smitty. He comes on stage with his people. He had all his people with him. They all came on stage and they was performing that. After he was done, he's like, yo, I did good, homies. I did good. It's like, you did good. He's like, all right, cool. I'm out. Let's go. But I watched that whole thing. I have a memory like an elephant.
Wow,
so I can remember a lot of things. So shout out to Smitty.
Yeah.
Shout out to what that diamonds on my neck.
So this was around that same time. So while you over there, I'm, you know, formulating my DJ career, my mixtape career. So he was, you know, humble enough to give me a host. So I had a host, I had a cover, and I put out my first mixtape.
Wow.
You know, back then.
What's the name of that mixtape?
It was called Dope Boy Music.
Dope Boy Music.
So the concept of the mixtape was, you know, I was, at that time, this was the trap music era. So it was Gucci Mane, it was T.I., it was Jeezy. For me, this was the music I was heavy entrenched to, listening to, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Right. So, you know, I wanted to, what I wanted to do was take those artists who I love their music and mix it with some of the local artists, or I won't want to call them local, just artists from my city. From your city, right? So I'll take a Gucci Mane and a Jeezy, and then I'll throw an Iceberg or a Briscoe or whoever it was at the time, exactly, into one mixtape.
That makes sense.
And I called it Dope Boy Music for the most part, because you know Dope Boy is a Miami word.
Right, of course.
Right. Trap was at the time was more of an Atlanta word, so it couldn't be trap music. You know what I'm saying? So I just
Dope Boy music.
Yeah, so I put Dope Boy Music because you know what I mean. Miami, that's what
it grew up.
Exactly, that's what we was on.
That was the culture. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I put out my first mixtape for the most part. Back then, mixtape sites were.
Oh yeah, like that. Like
exactly, like mixtape touring, and blog sites, so on and so forth. And then we had the mixtape stores, to as you know, they were bootleggers, but
like
but they also sold CDs and so on and so forth. And we had, you know, we had a lot of flea markets.
I remember that era.
Yeah, you know, so I bagged up my first mixtape, went to all the flea markets. I was out there distributing my mixtape. I was online, so on and so forth. And then I did Dope Boy 1, Dope Boy 2. Then by maybe like Dope Boy Music Volume 6, I got a buzz in the city.
You started buzzing.
Yeah, because you know I'm getting all different hosts. And exactly. And then, you know, I'm getting a buzz in the city. So now they're booking me to come DJ. Mind you, I still haven't touched the turntable yet. Right? You even touched all right. That's why this is where it's connected. This is where it's connected because I came in through the mixtapes, just putting out mixtapes, and then the mixtapes luckily caught a buzz in the city. So now they're like, Killa K, we want to book you for a club, mixtape, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'm like, well, damn, I can't even DJ.
So you don't got yourself in a situation.
So I got myself into a, so me not wanting to disrespect DJ and have DJ in front of my name and not being a DJ. One day, you know, I'm in my house making a mixtape and I just Google DJ school.
DJ school? When you Google DJ school?
I Googled DJ school because I was that adamant on wanting to be a DJ and learn. Exactly. So, you know, I didn't have nobody to teach because you got to remember, I'm coming in this late. Like, I didn't have no, like, mentors. Of course, I was with the guys and they DJ, so on and so forth, but they didn't necessarily have the time to sit down and really, Killa K, this is how you put the needle on and so on and so forth. So, you know, I'm real self-sufficient. So while I'm making my mixtape, I Google DJ school. Luckily, the Scratch Academy comes up, right? And for all don't know who Scratch Academy is, Scratch Academy is a DJ school that was started by Jam Master Jay.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it started in New York.
Wow. R.I.P. to Jam Master Jay, by the way.
Shouts out to Jam Master Jay, a legend.
Legend
out here,
I didn't even know that. Look at that.
So I'm on the website and I'm like, you know, I'm happy now. Oh, man, okay. I can put myself through DJ school. So then I clicked, like, you know, where it's located at, and then the first one said New York. Broke my heart. I'm like, damn.
Oh, it's in New York.
Yeah, so then I clicked another location, California. Damn. Next location, Miami.
Oh, Miami? You was like,
shit.
Good. Like, yeah.
Oh, shit, it's over.
I found one.
So boom, I clicked on the website, seen where it was at. Luckily, it was in Wynwood.
Really? It was in Wynwood.
All right, so boom. So me not wanting to disrespect being a DJ, having DJ in front of my name and not being able to DJ, right? I took my little mixtape money, my little weed money, and I put myself through DJ school, right? So Scratch Academy, super dope, right? They have DJing set up like a school, 101, 102, 103, 104. Right. So you never knowing how to touch a turntable, right? You can go in there and learn.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
So yeah. So
that's in Wynwood, right?
Exactly. Well, it's not in Wynwood no more. They moved to Hollywood. And then actually this year they actually just closed down and they're just doing it. They're just doing it online. So you know what I mean? That was an era that you kind of missed. But but long story short, short story long, because I don't want to drag it out too much because I know you got some more questions and I could talk.
It's all good.
So boom, from the mixtapes, right? I put myself through DJ school, right? So now I'm learning how to DJ. My mixtapes are still buzzing, right? In the city, like but I'm learning too at the same time. I get hit up by a DJ by the name of DJ Crunch One.
Crunch One, that sounds familiar.
All right, so I'm gonna get to, and you know what I mean, because it's all gonna tie together. How I met DJ Meat.
How you met?
How I met DJ
That's
Meat.
what I want to know.
All right, so because my mixtapes are buzzing in the city, right? I get hit up by a DJ out here by the name of DJ Crunch One, right? Okay. So he was the head of one of the first DJ coalitions in Miami called the Street Connect DJs. All right.
The Street Connect.
Yeah, because he seen one of my mixtapes on the internet and he was reaching out like he wanted to work with me. He thought I was from out of town. I hit him back like, "No, I'm not from here." So on and so forth. He's like, "Damn, so why don't you come by the club?"
Right.
So now I get hit up by DJ Crunch One. I'm still doing my mixtapes, going through school. So one day I go to the strip club. Had to be a strip. I didn't know it was a strip club, but he just was like, "Meet me at the club." This was Tootsie's.
Oh, Tootsie's. I remember
for the most time.
Yeah.
Boom. So they're having a meeting, and then I meet up with them, and then Street Connect was a couple of DJs from Miami, strip club primarily, right? Who were a coalition, basically came together to push Miami music forward, right?
Got you.
Through DJs and a coalition. So that's what Street Connect was, right? So through my mixtapes, the president, right, which was DJ Crunch One, right, reached out to me. I ended up meeting up with them, and then I ended up getting down with them. All right, Crunch One was the president. The vice president was DJ Meat.
What?
Yeah. So,
shout out to my dog.
All right. So even before I met Crunch One, when I pull up in the parking lot and I get out the car, the first person I meet is DJ Meat.
DJ Meat.
You know what I mean?
First person you met.
Like, yeah, because he knew I was coming. Crunch One told him, because they're inviting me in to be a Street Connect, so I'm a new member.
Got you.
So he greeted me in the parking lot, so on and so forth. So boom, I get down with Street Connect. So remember I told you Street Connect primarily in the strip clubs, right?
Okay,
so Meat is in the strip club, Crunch One's in the strip club, all these guys are in the strip club. So me getting down with them, my foray into club DJing is strip club, as opposed to like weddings or so on and so forth. Because I'm coming from the mixtapes, I'm learning how to DJ, then I hook up with these DJs, and then they in the strip club. So then one day, I'm in there with Crunch One, and he just throws me on the mic. Whoa. And then that's how I kind of started for me. How you started. So I started putting out mixtapes, put myself through DJ school, clicked up with the Street Connect DJs, they in the strip club. Wow. And then I started in the strip club.
That's dedication.
That's pure dedication. That is discipline, number one. And number two, because it takes more than just only passion. It takes discipline. And it takes hunger.
I was focused,
and you was focused on accomplishing
it. It was at a point in my life to whereas I knew I didn't want to, because, all right, I was working at Publix, and I was mopping floors at night. And I just knew, like, this ain't it for me.
Yeah, you knew, like,
it got to be passion.
Right.
But I knew if I put in the work and I suffered, right, in the learning times and so on and so forth, I'd eventually create a lifestyle to whereas this passion is going to be paying me. It's going to turn into something, right. Exactly. It's going to turn into something. But a lot of people, they don't want to go through those hard times.
No, they don't want to go through it.
Because when you're chasing your passion and you're out here, just really trying to get to it, it comes with some suffering. It's not going to come easy.
It's not easy.
You get what I mean?
Go through a lot. So
it comes with some suffering.
Yes, of course.
So you're going to have to go through some things, but it's like when you kind of go through them things, those nights where damn, you don't know how the rent's gonna get paid, or you might have to, you know what I mean, not eat the night, but you're focused on that passion. You got a plan, right? You got to go through those things, of course, for the most part, and then once you go through those things, it works out for you in the end.
It builds character.
It builds character.
And it's also sacrifices.
Exactly, sacrifice. That's the word I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for.
And
sacrifice.
You know, when you build that type of character on you, and you build those, you go through those struggles, it builds you into a man of understanding or a woman of understanding on how life works.
Definitely.
And how people work.
Definitely.
Meaning that I get where you was at. I understand where you was at. And that's why I can't look upon you like I'm looking down at you when I've been through that too. That's the way I look at people. I look at people like I've been there too.
Yeah, gratitude.
So I'm just super gratitude and grateful that I'm in your presence. Grateful that, you know what? I can be anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I can be behind the bars or something, but God's seen it fit and the universe seen it fit for us to be where we at. So we have to respect what that's going on. Like when things happen to people, you be like, man, why did that happen? It's something for you not to understand that. It's just the way things is set up.
Exactly.
It's almost like design almost.
Yeah, they got to go through it.
They got to go through that to understand why. And even if it's a short period or a long period, either way, everyone was a lesson. Anything happens to anybody, it's a lesson from that.
Yeah.
And we have to look at what that lesson is.
Absolutely. I have another question for you.
For sure. My bad. I can get a little long-winded. So, you know what I mean?
It's fine.
But I hope that I answered your question though. That's how I started. Yeah. So for y'all listeners, real quick, I fucked up in school, came home, was trying to find my passion, selling weed, knew some DJs, went to the studio, learned from them, put out my mixtape, put myself through DJ school.
That's dope.
Met DJ Meat and Crunch Run. They was in the strip club, and I started in Coco.
There you go.
Boom.
Not the Cocos.
You see how he went the long version and then gave
and then I came back
the
around.
Short version.
There you go.
Question. So what challenges have you faced as a DJ and how do you overcome
what challenges have I faced as a DJ?
Yeah.
Let's just see. First off, the mic in the beginning for me was because when you getting into it, you're not used to hearing yourself on the mic and not knowing how to talk. Like as a DJ, you got to talk from your soul, your diaphragm. You know, you are an artist, and you know what I mean. Exactly. So when you're on the mic, it has to be, you know,
to come through.
Exactly. You can't go on there like, hey, I'm DJ Killa K. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, nah, I'm in this motherfucker. Hold on. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It has to be from your diaphragm.
Right.
So in the beginning, for me, it was the mic.
Okay.
Once I got over the mic, that was probably after it. It wasn't too many because I knew, I expected the challenges. I know, like going into it, like see the thing with the DJing is we make it look simple, but it's so hard because you got a room full of 100 people. Each person has a different taste of music, so on and so forth. But all these things I was expected, you know what I mean? Or I knew going into it. I just wanted to get past the technical parts. You feel me? So the mic, and once I learned how to mix, so on and so forth, got my groove. It was on the popping. I was ready for anything.
There
you know
you go.
I mean? It wasn't too many.
I was reading a little bit about you, spiritually, respectfully. I know that you're Jamaican.
Of course.
Yes. From a Jamaican
man. Walk like a champion, act like a champion.
Boom. And my Waterhouse bad man. Boom.
And I know that you were brought up in a Buddhist church.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about that.
All right, so my mom, we can start with my mom because that's where my spirituality for the most part came from. Where for most people, that's where it kind of comes from, the family, so on and so forth. But like my mom was Buddhist, right? So when you talk about Buddhism is vast for the most part. But she was part of a certain sect called Nichiren Buddhism, Buddhism. Yeah, Nichiren Buddhism. So real quick to give you some background on Nichiren Buddhism. All right, so Nichiren Buddhism is out of Japan. Okay. You know, Buddhism kind of started, we'll just say it started in Africa.
Started in Africa.
For all y'all don't know.
Yeah. That's where pretty much everything started.
In Africa. Yeah, pretty much
that's what spirituality is. You know what I mean? For me,
Oh yeah, I get it.
The research that I've done for the most part, you know what I mean?
You.
Everything that, for the most part are just fragments of African spirituality.
Got you.
Taken, you know what I mean? And,
they took bits and pieces.
Exactly, and just, molded it for their people at the time.
And Japan got a hold of that?
All right, so look, we're going to trace it. So it started in Africa, moved on through India, right? So Buddhism started in India. For the most part, right? Because it came out of Hinduism.
Right.
All right, Buddha Siddhartha was he was basically a Hindu priest for the most part, right? Okay. So it went through India, went through China, made its way into Japan. All right, so Buddha, right, in his 40 years of teachings, he created these things called sutras, right? Sutras, where just like a collection of his teachings. I don't want to, the closest I could kind of example is, we'll just say a collection of teachings, because I don't want to say Bible, because it's two different things. Right. But
I got you.
A collection of his teachings, right? So you have different type of sutras, right? Diamond Sutra, so on and so forth. His last sutra was called the Lotus Sutra.
The Lotus
right?
Sutra.
So this sutra was basically entailing all his teachings up until now, right before he died. So this was the last sutra he put out. All right? Called the Lotus Sutra. So this was his highest teachings.
Highest teachings.
So this was Buddhism he kind of created for people after he died. Because he knew that Buddhism, right, and his teachings was going to kind of fade because he's not going to be there anymore. And it's not as powerful as, you know what I mean, as it is when it's in his presence.
I got you.
So he created this sutra for people who wanted to study Buddhism, or he knew that was going to study Buddhism after he died. At the time, though, the sutra was just so complex for everybody to get, you know what I mean, for the most part. Right. So it was there. It wasn't until the 13th century, right, in Japan, right, that a Buddhist priest, right, came out. His name was Nichiren. He was born, right, and he was one. All right, he was born in a time to where Japan was going through a lot of suffering, right, and it was always a Buddhist country, but it's going through a lot of suffering. So he now is like, damn, why are we so Buddhist? Why are we so peaceful? And we're just. Shit's fucked up. You feel me? Government, shit's invading, earthquakes, so on and so forth. So he really took a deep dive into Buddhism, right? And what Buddha was really trying to basically say. He stumbled upon the Lotus Sutra, right? Which was Buddha's highest teaching. Because I remember at the time, this sutra is so complex for people. Right. He ended up figuring it out.
Oh, okay.
Right?
He broke the code.
In this sutra, he ended up figuring out, damn, all Buddha was trying to teach us from the beginning, all these other sutras, is culminated into this one sutra. Which he called the King Sutra.
King Sutra.
Right? All the fundamental Buddhist teachings. The law of cause and effect, the middle way, so on and so forth. Siddhartha put in this one sutra. So then Nichiren was like, why don't we just stick to this one sutra?
Gotcha.
Right, so out of this sutra, he created Nichiren Buddhism. So you got different sutras, you got different types of Buddhism, Zen, so on and so forth. So Nichiren Buddhism, right, we stick to this King Sutra, right, for the most part. All the teachings in this sutra. Nichiren was able to come together, dissect the Lotus Sutra, and then give us a type of Buddhism, right, through the Lotus Sutra that we can practice and understand, so on and so forth, for the common person.
Look at that.
All right, so then my mom, right, has been a Nichiren Buddhist, let's just say, for over 30 years.
Wow.
You get what I mean? So, like, for me, coming up, it was always, I wouldn't say it was a struggle, because Buddhism, when I was coming up, wasn't really popular, right? So, you know, my mom was always at house praying. We got a Gahunzen, we have an altar, everything set up. But, you know, coming up as a kid, you know, kids are real mean, so on and so forth. And, you know, everybody was,
I know how it was,
for the most part, Christian and so on and so. So they used to come to my house and think like my mom was devil worshiping. And
because they didn't
understand. Yeah, you know, which as a kid I look back, I understand now because, you know what I mean? They didn't understand. So for me, it was coming up like it was, I wouldn't say it was rough, but I always knew it was kind of different.
Of course.
You know what I mean? It wasn't until I got older and I kind of understood,
why they
all right, this is Christianity, this is Muslim, this is Buddhism, so on and so forth. This is how so on and so forth created. All right, so my mom was always Buddhist, so she was always instilling Buddhist teachings, you know what I mean? Like the law of cause and effects on it. She was always instilling that from shorties, from when I was coming up.
She brought you up in
exactly, but it wasn't until maybe about pandemic time, right? to whereas I kind of took the leap of faith and really went out there and became a devout Buddhist. Right, I always came up with the Buddhist teachings, so on and so forth, but I really took that step, right, to whereas I really, all right, now it's time for me to jump really out there and find my spiritual. And it wasn't until I did my own research on Buddhism,
I did the same.
Right?
That was the same.
You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna go deeper for me where it started. I was really kind of searching for my spiritual path. This is pandemic time. We got a lot of time. We ain't doing nothing. I'm like, all right. So I knew I was going hard, right? But I felt like my going hard wasn't enough, right? It was something more I needed, right? And it was spirituality, right? Buddhism was always there for me, but it was never the forefront for me. You know what I mean? So when I figured out, damn, spirituality, you know what I mean, is what I'm missing. I'm going hard, but it's like I'm not really pushing through.
Really pushing through.
Yeah, I'm not really pushing through.
Yeah.
So then I went to deep, doing more shadow work.
You do more shadow work. There you go.
With spirituality, what's my road? Where do I fit in? You know what I mean? So on and so forth. So I started doing all my little research and you know on all the faiths, Christianity, everything.
You started studying.
Just where do I fit in? Because not for nothing, my mom was Buddhist, but she never really pushed it on us like you have to be Buddhist. You have to be Buddhist. You get what I mean? But for me, it was like it's a time where I'm coming into a pandemic going crazy. I was like, I had to. So then doing my little research, I found out the African connection in Buddhism, right? Because I started in Africa. Because I seen a YouTube and it was like African spirituality is all where it started from. So I started learning about Kemet and, you know what I mean, Nubia. And, you know what I mean? And monotheism and how people came about to just really worship just a single thing. All these things I'm learning, right? And then I seen the connection from Buddhism in Africa. So I'm like, damn, boom. This is me right here. You get what I mean? This is me right here.
This is when you got enlightened.
Yeah, it was kind of even deeper than my mom's knowledge of Buddhism because she came through it kind of through Japan and just kind of stayed over there. But once I seen the connection, I was like, oh man, I'm already Buddhist. It's coming out of Africa.
Right.
This is me.
This is you.
This is me. So then you know what I mean? I really went out and got my Gohonzon because in Nichiren Buddhism, right, for you to officially, you have to go through a ceremony that's called Gojikai. So where you have to go meet with the high priest, right? Yeah, so, all right, over here we have a couple temples. We maybe have 3 temples. The head temple is in Taisekeji, Japan. Whoa. That's the head temple of Nichiren Buddhism.
Have you ever been to Japan?
Never been to Japan. My mom has, and she's going in November again.
Wow.
So yeah, for every Buddhist, Nichiren Buddhism, that's like your pilgrimage. You got to get to Taisekeji at least one time a year. If you can't get to Taisekeji, we have head temples over here. We have one in Maryland, California, and I think there's one in Illinois.
Really?
So to be a Nichiren Buddhism, you have to go to the head temple and then go through this ceremony to whereas you take that vow that you're. You know what I mean? You're really standing on it. Yeah, you ain't playing. You know what I mean? You really standing.
Wow.
So,
congratulations on that,
exactly.
man.
But for me, it was kind of easy because my mom, being forward thinking, she made us go through that ceremony when we was small. Right? So if we ever wanted to just take that faith, we necessarily had to go through, didn't have to go through the big ceremony again. Right. You just have to go now get your Gohonzon.
Get your Gohonzon.
And it's called a Gohonzon.
It's called a Gohonzon.
Yeah, it's called a Gohonzon. It's what we all right, so in Nichiren Buddhism, I hope I'm not hopping around. But in Nichiren Buddhism, for us when we pray, right, and we have an altar and we have a Gohonzon that houses what I want to say maybe we'll just call it it's a good example, a Buddhist history map. So Nichiren, right, when he was putting together Nichiren Buddhism, he understood that man and woman need an object of worship, right? Meaning man needs something to sit down and pray to. That's where like totem poles, so on and so forth.
Right.
Man needs an object of worship. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Understanding
that for us, it can't necessarily be a person, right? He knew that we still need to sit down and meditate somewhere, so on and so forth. And you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So he created this thing which is a Gohonzon.
This guy's deep, man.
So it's basically it's basically a mandala, if I'm not mistaken. That's the mandala, all right? It's a mandala. So it's a scroll. Wow. So he just put all the Buddhist history, all the big deities. There's a famous ceremony in the air. It's called that happened in the Lotus Sutra. So he just created a mandala with an altar where you sit down and you basically, and you chant and you pray to, and it's just like a mirror because you're not necessarily praying to it.
Okay.
But it's a place that you go to, sit down, gather your thoughts, and then for us, we recite the Lotus Sutra. So the Lotus Sutra, right? We recite chapter 2 and 16 out of the Lotus Sutra. So when we're sit down and we're sitting at the Gehunzen, we're reciting the Lotus Sutra as well as manifesting what we want to the universe.
Where do you get that Lotus Sutra from?
You could purchase it? Yeah, you could purchase it because they translated to English, right? Really? So it's like a book you could
Where
get.
You can go anywhere.
You could go anywhere. They got 50 different English versions that they translated it to for the most part.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I went through it and I took the step, the big step to be a Nichiren Buddhist.
Congratulations on that.
Definitely. Yeah, I got my Gehunzen.
You got your Gehunzen. Okay.
So on and so forth. So, but that's where it started from me.
Wow.
Through my mom.
Because when I seen that,
give a round of
applause.
So I hope I explained it right. Like I said, I can get a long-winded and
No.
But I hope I explained it right.
I was just wondering because when I went through my spiritual path, my journey, I'm Catholic. I was born Catholic.
Of course.
But certain beliefs in the Catholic religion, I don't believe in. So I wanted to find my own spirituality. Yeah. So I started studying every single different religion until I found my own. And actually, Buddhism was one of them that I lean more towards because I'm into chanting.
Of course.
I'm into spirituality. I'm into that. So that was actually but I never heard of that type of Buddhism. So I was just curious about it.
So Nichiren Buddhism is kind of dope because Nichiren kind of created it for people like us because Buddhism is vast. So he kind of gave you the key points, right?
Okay.
Of everything in Buddhism to kind of focus on.
Kind of give you like a direction, right?
Exactly. You feel me? So he gives you a Gehunzen, you know what I mean? He gives you so on and so, but he just made it real easy through all the vastness, all the different sutras. This is what Buddha was talking about. This is what we're going to stick to. You know what?
I'm glad you said all of that because you know what? There's a lot of people in the world that I'm not saying all, but some people in the world, I don't know. It's almost like if someone knows a lot of knowledge like this, if you come to this person, you come up to a youngin and you tell them about this type of knowledge, they almost look at you like, but you ain't got the big chains and jewelry. How can I listen to the info? I'm just saying, this is
Facts.
just, you know what I mean?
Facts.
How can I listen to you when I don't see you pull up in that Bentley?
Yeah.
How can I listen to you when you don't pull up in that? And what I had to tell the kids, because I taught the kids a lot, I said, listen, never look at the jewels, the cars as a person, as that's the success for that person.
Never.
Or they are more knowledgeable than a person who's a regular 9-to-5er. Like I work 9 to 5, right? But I have a lot of gems that I drop to people all the time. But the more kids they absorb, and it's sad, kind of, because they rather absorb it from somebody who they see pull up in that big body than to absorb it from a regular 9 to 5, because they're thinking like, what do you know? Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, I do know.
They kind of equate materialism
to knowledge.
And that's definitely a mistake.
That's a mistake,
kids, because with materialism, all that shit fades. And
yes, it does.
One greatest Buddhist, I want to say fundamental, is impermanence. Anything of the material world is going to fade. Yeah.
It will.
That goes for tables, relationships, so on and so forth. So for you got to understand impermanence and always be ready for change. Right? That's a Buddhist fundamental.
That's dope.
Always be ready for change.
Anything in the material world is eventually going to fade. So for us, that's why we put our faith, right, if you want to call faith, in the law of cause and effect. Right?
Cause and effect.
And the law of cause and effect. For us, the law of cause and effect supersedes everything. Right? If you want to change your life right now. Because you got to remember, Buddhism, apart from all the other Abrahamic religions, is based in suffering. Why do people suffer? Not necessarily a creator God. Or when the world started. Or that for us is not why we doing this. Why do people suffer, and then how can you change? How can you stop suffering? That's what Buddhism, the fundamentals. That's why it was started. You get what I'm trying to say? Because if anything, all of us were gonna suffer. Some people suffer more than others, right?
That's right.
That's a human constant.
It's a human constant.
So that's what Buddhism kind of came out of. Is why do people suffer?
Why do people suffer?
And how to stop suffering.
And how to stop suffering.
And how to stop suffering. So that's, you know what I mean?
Dope.
That's
I love what DJ Killa based on. DJ Killa is a very, first of all, I want to say, shout out to DJ Killa and the information that he's given.
Nah, for sure, man.
You guys
that's why I had to come chop it up with y'all, man.
That's why I love the Yo Rabbit and Neil show, because we are a diverse show, number one, and we love to listen to all walks and all aspects of life, because everyone has their beliefs, their perspectives, and their opinions and what they believe in, and that's what we bring here to the Yo Rabbit and Neil show.
Sure.
It's whatever you guys are into, we want to hear that, because we are getting educated too, and we are all teachers and students at the same time, and we'll forever be that until we leave. What we will do on this earth is just figure out, number one, what can we do to basically either leave an impact on people's lives, or what can we do to help others in the journey? Because some people, they lack the understanding of knowing, like, hey, bro, do you really know that you're actually here to help somebody?
Right.
Do you really know you're actually here to leave something here for the next person to understand? And I kind of understand what Buddhism is too, because I've I looked at a lot of different religions too, you know what I mean? And what I also understood about them is that what happens if let's say for instance, if that person that goes by Buddha, they'll go and wash dishes and be happy with that.
Of course.
Right? Because they're looking at it ain't the dishes, it ain't about them washing the dishes. It's about them being content and understanding why they're here in the first place.
Yeah.
It's deeper than just the dishes, but they're doing it happily because there's a reason behind what they here for.
And they maybe be washing dishes because they got to take care of their family.
And that too, but there's a reason. But it's all about them being happy about what they're doing. You know what I mean? And content.
In Buddhism, they teach you to be always in the moment.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for.
Always be present and always be aware. Right. Always
knowing
be present.
What you're doing.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna get back to
do your thing, man. We here. We here.
We could
go. We could go. I'm here.
What advice would
educated, man.
What advice would you give an upcoming DJ?
Yeah.
What advice would I give an upcoming DJ?
I want to make a brand and a name for themselves.
Yeah. All right. So what advice I give a DJ? First, I would start with the fundamentals. Master your craft. Be a master of your craft. Be a master of your whatever it is you want to get into. Whether you want to go the scratching route, the competition, the club route, the wedding route. There's so many different routes. The producer route, right? But just to be a master of your craft.
Be a master.
Yeah, understand that's the most important thing in it, or why you're doing it. Right? Is to master your craft, being the best that you can be. And that's where the money's gonna come for the most part. And don't be chasing the money.
Right.
Chase being the best DJ you could be, and then the money's gonna come.
And the money
if that makes sense.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, my advice would be just to master your craft. Be always on it, always studying, always be a student. Never think you're too big to go listen to another DJ or to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
learn.
always be a master of your craft. Always be studying.
Always learn.
Was it hard for you to transition? You coming from the mixtape world, turntable world, and now everything is different. Everything is digital. Was it a hard transition?
Yeah, for me, well, it wasn't, because I came. Because this is how long I've been doing it. I came at the end of the turntables, the real record,
from
to the
beginning.
transition. Like I came at like the end. So when I started, I was still carrying records, but it was on the way out though.
But it was on the way out.
Yeah, maybe in like the next year, it was just all turntables.
Oh, it's all turntables.
Yeah, it was all, you know what I mean,
digital.
CDs and DJs and so. But I always started on the laptop. So even though it was on we had Serato, so you have like vinyl, the vinyl feel, but you were still on the laptop.
You're still on the laptop
for the most part.
Got
For me, I always started on the computer as opposed to, so it wasn't really a hard transition.
Got you.
For you,
me,
because when I started because remember I started late.
You started
but
late.
I was always on the Serato. You know what I mean? We switched over from vinyl to maybe like controllers now, but people still do both.
Right, they still do both.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those are the people that came from that era, but they learned the new era too, so they can go back and forth.
Exactly. So whereas now they've created to where as a DJ, you'll see like there's not even no more needles. It's it's like, you know, it's just like I forget what it's called, but it's no more needles. It's a light little thing. So you're getting the vinyl feel, but it's still digital.
But it's still digital.
It's still digital.
Do you think that's better for the new age now? Do you think that's better
for
for
me?
you?
It don't matter. For me, like, cause I'm not one of those that get hung up on CDJs, controllers. For me, if you rocking the party, you rocking the party. I don't care if you rocking it off your iPod. right? If you rocking the party, you rocking the party. You know what I mean? If you got people dancing and you keeping the flow going, for me, I've never been big on, because like in the strip club when I started, a lot of times, right? When I started, they used to just DJ off their laptop. It wasn't no turntable.
Yeah, that's turntable.
You feel me?
That's right.
And shit going crazy. And you go to the booth like, where the turntable at? But they just off their laptop. Exactly. But that's why another reason why I went hard in the DJ school and trying to learn the fundamentals, because even though I was around the strip club DJs, they DJ'd with a lot of shortcuts. You feel me? Because what's going on in the strip club, you got a lot of stuff going on. You got to sell bottles, you got to call the girls, you got to make sure they spend the money, so on and so forth. So a lot of times your mix is like the last thing you get to.
Whoa.
You get me? So you're DJing at like you got to just you're not
what is it, like you got to incorporate everything in one.
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to say you're DJing at a handicap, but your mix will kind of be the last thing you're worrying about, right? Because you got a lot of stuff going on. So for them to be on the laptop, it was a lot easier, right? For now, it's transition though, where everybody on the turntables and we could do that. When I first started, but I wouldn't learn the fundamentals. I would just learn from the shortcuts, and I ain't want to do that.
Right.
So even though I was around the strip club DJs, and that's how they was doing it, I still made the effort to go through school and pay for Scratch Academy and learn how to mix through counting bars.
Give it up for DJ
you know what I mean?
Killa.
Yeah.
So it's the 50th year of hip hop.
Of course.
What does that mean?
Of course. That means everything to me, man. For me, hip hop was everything. Hip hop is the way I walk, the way I talk, how I think. I don't know where I would be without hip hop.
For real.
It's like it's engulfed in every facet of my life.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? It's engulfed in every facet.
Too.
It's everything I've known is from the beginning, from the jump. So I'm just so happy that it's made it to 50 years.
Far.
And you know what I mean?
Because they thought that hip hop wasn't even gonna last long. They thought it was a fad.
I remember my first foray into hip hop. I got a Kumo D record.
Kumo D.
Yeah, Kumo D. So it was my homeboy's dad. He was in the hip hop young, and he had a lot of records. And
Kumo D.
Yeah, and then I remember it vividly. It was I go to work.
That's the one I
go to work.
That was in my brain just now.
Yeah, so I remember.
That's the one I saw.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the record had like a ruler on it. And he was like, and I was looking, I was like, damn, it's kind of dope. And he was like, "K, you want it?" And he gave it to me. And then my mom had a record player, and she played her, Whitney Houston. But I came in and I put my little Kumo D. That was my foray. Yeah, that was my foray in the hip hop. So from there, it was like Kumo D, and then I was young, so then it switched to like Criss Cross and Another Bad Creation, and you know what I mean. So and then it went to Snoop Dogg and Eazy-E, and then I started learning about Trick Daddy, and from being down here.
Right.
Yeah, but for me, 50 years of hip hop means everything, because it's been everything for me, and I'm just so glad to be a part of it. And I've seen the eras, because I'm kind of older. Put my age out there.
You look good.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I was born 81. You feel me?
Oh, you an 81?
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby. You feel me? I'm an 80s baby. Shouts out to the 80s.
Shout out to the 80s baby.
You know what I'm saying? So I see.
Hold on, you Aquarius, aren't you?
Libra.
You a Libra?
Yeah, October 1st.
October 1st.
So
your birthday was last month.
Happy belated birthday. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Another question for you.
For sure.
Tell me the most funniest and the most craziest experience you ever had DJing.
Funniest,
the funniest, craziest.
Y'all sure y'all want to hear that?
We want to hear the craziest.
DJ is the worst of the worst, the trenches of the trenches of Dade County. So I done seen some
especially
stuff.
at Coco's. I'm sure you done seen.
So that's where I started. So I done seen it all.
I know you done seen it all.
Let me see. Let me give y'all one, and I hope. Well, we ain't gonna say no names.
You ain't gotta say no names. You ain't gotta use no names.
And you're not gonna know it happened because you had to kind of be there.
You had to be there. No, right. That makes sense.
So so this was of course, a strip club. All right, so I'm in there DJing regular night. Call a girl to the stage. You know what I'm saying? Everything going good. So She up there doing her thing, you know. I'm trying to get her money, talking to niggas in the crowd. You know what I do? Hype the shit up, so on and so forth. She had a long ponytail, like a long one,
like what Sade one, like a Sade long ponytail. It
had to be like a
Cherish Today.
Nicki Minaj.
Don't go astray.
Malaysian 76.
Oh man,
long ponytail. You know what I'm saying?
Like Rapunzel or something.
Yeah, like a long ponytail, but it looked good though. Like I hate them, because you know girls.
Yeah, you can't.
That's what they do, of course. So. Boom, so she doing her tricks and so then she go to spin, right? She spin around the pole, boom, 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 do her trick, come down, right? But she doesn't come back up.
What?
No, wow, he got
so,
caught?
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me, bruh. No.
I would die.
No, bro.
So the ponytail is wrapped around the pole.
Okay.
Right? And she's stuck at the bottom. Right, so of course the ponytails are weave, right?
Yeah, right.
So she don't want to just snatch it off,
right?
Because then she got to come up out the wig, right? So she's down there, all right. Couple seconds go by, seconds, you know, everything going on. Nobody's kind of noticing, but I'm noticing like, damn, she not getting up.
She not getting. He the DJ. He's like, yo, she ain't budging. What's going on?
So she's stuck. Her ponytail literally has her wrapped around this pole.
How would you even do that?
Right. So luckily, it's a small club. So like the bar's right here and the stage is right here.
Okay.
So luckily the bartender sees it. Right.
Right.
So she runs behind the bar. comes from behind the bar.
She come behind the bar, right?
With a knife.
No,
right?
she didn't.
With a knife.
No, she didn't.
So she literally had to get down there and cut the ponytail.
Was she dancing though? Was she still?
She's not dancing no more because she's fully just caught. Like
she just fully caught.
Please, somebody come get me. Somebody come get me. Somebody. So she had to come out from behind the bar and cut the ponytail off.
Whoa.
Short story long story short. Nobody was injured. She was able to, you know what I mean, get up out of there. But that was just a crazy story that I seen. Her ponytail got caught.
Her ponytail got caught.
And she had to come get cut up out of there with a knife.
That's the type of things that go viral right there.
That is so embarrassing.
Well, she lucky nobody recorded that.
So, you know, shout out to her, you know, of course.
Shout out to her. We glad you're okay.
You know what I mean? She ended up being okay. And nobody's going to know that happened except for the people. And then luckily it wasn't too many people in the club. So it wasn't like main time, prime time. It was just a couple, you know what I mean? People that be in there all the time, us and the bartenders.
That's
dope. But
so, you know, our show, like, we've been having, like, from our first segment, second segment, we've been talking about a lot of things. And one of the things that we've been talking about is grievance. And I know recently your father had passed away.
Man. My condolences.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So we want, like, how do you deal with grieving and what are the mechanisms you use to grieve?
Tell you the truth, dog, I don't think you could tell. I don't think there's a handbook on how to grieve, right? I think it's a person-to-person type situation, right? So for me, I can only speak on how I've been grieving. And basically, I've just been celebrating his life. You know what I mean? Because for me,
and you look just like him. I seen the picture too. Boy. Y'all like twins. I was like, dang.
Yeah, man.
Yo, he did the work. He put in that work, bro. Cause you look just. Boy, I seen a picture.
That's what everybody was saying at the funeral. Was like, damn, because you know I haven't seen a lot of family members in a long time, and they were saying, out of all, because you know it's 6 of us, but I was like his splitting image for the most part.
You was like a man.
You know what I mean? I was like his
like he just image. Like booyah, like he had you, like not the mama, he had you. Like,
so for me with grieving, I just been trying to celebrate, you know, his life and all the things that he accomplished. You know, I found out a lot of things about me, because not for nothing, we didn't live together. So I don't like to say we weren't close, because we weren't close, but we were not. In a sense, to whereas we didn't live together. Like my mom and him was separated, but he was always a call away. Like he wasn't one of them dads to whereas I didn't know where he was at. He was just one of them like, all right, you need something, you got to come live with me. Oh, come on, pops. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I tried it. Like I tried it. I actually lived with him. You know, all right. Quick backdrop. I was born in New York originally. A lot of people don't know that. Because I'm so Dade County to the fullest. You feel me? Because I've been in Dade County my whole life. But I was born in Queens.
Wow.
Yeah, I was born in St. Albans, actually.
St. Albans.
I think the hospital was called Mary Immaculate, if I'm not mistaken, St. Albans, Queens.
Shout out
to
because you know, all right, because you know that's the Jamaica. I like to call it the Jamaican Triangle, right?
Gotcha.
When you're coming from Jamaica, right, you're coming to New York,
right,
Toronto, or Miami. Well, at least when my mom and them was coming, you feel what I'm trying to say. So when when she came through Toronto.
Oh.
And then New York. And then had me and my sister. My sister was born in Brooklyn, but I was born in New York.
Right.
Never lived. Well, I lived there maybe 2-3 years. From there, my mom moved to D.C. and Maryland. Okay. With my dad, so on and so forth. They kind of, and then they split from there. I had a relative in Miami, which is my aunt. So after my mom and dad split, my mom said, "Fuck it, I'm out of here," and just moved to Miami. Wow. With me and my sister when I was 5, and then I've been to Miami ever since. Middle school now.
So you did.
Yeah. So exactly, that was saying. So like I say, I was born in '81. I moved to Miami in '86. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did.
So middle school, elementary, middle school, I'm becoming a man now. Right. You kind of go it with your mom. My mom was like, "Man, one day, fuck this, man, go live with your dad." Oh. So he sent me up to D.C. So middle school, 7th and 8th grade, I'm living in D.C. with my dad. Okay. And it didn't really work out, you know what I mean, for the most part. But I tried it, you know what I mean? That's why I say, but that's just to show like how much he was there.
Right. He was.
You know what I'm trying to say? He wasn't those. Yeah,
he wasn't a deadbeat.
Yeah, he was gotta come. I ain't get the money every time I called, but he was, all right, if you need it, you gotta come live with me. So I tried it and it didn't work out, and then I went back and in high school went back to Miami and started living with my mom, so on and so forth. But just to answer your question, man, grieving, I just been celebrating his life. I learned a lot of things about him in his passing that now resonate with me, why I am the person I am, why I'm in the history so much, because he was in the history. He was actually a history teacher. Oh wow. So yeah, my thirst for knowledge and just, you know what I mean, so on and so forth, I'm seeing it came from him. You know what I mean? And I know I learned he traveled the world.
They say you are with your father. They say you are with your father.
He was he was a author, you know what I mean? Published a couple books, history teacher, soccer player. Like he was he was a lot of things, you know what I mean, for the most part that I didn't kind of really get to kind of understand until he kind of passed. You know what I mean?
That's when you started
look back and just kind of see like, damn,
what did he accomplish?
I'm the way I am because of him.
Because of him.
You know what I mean? So just,
you're celebrating him.
Yeah, just celebrating.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Celebrating. So that's how I kind of grieve. I just really celebrate him like he's here for the most part, because they don't really pass, they just transition.
That's all they do.
Absolutely.
Exactly, because energy is just transferred, never dies. Y'all know how that goes. So it's really just a transition. So they're always still here. Wow. Right? They're here in how we think. You know what I mean? They navigate us through life, so on and so forth. So they're always here.
Yeah. They always
so I just, still celebrate them like he's here.
Like he's here.
For the most part. Yeah.
So before we wrap it up, any future projects that you got?
Yeah, so boom. First off, thank y'all for having me, man. I know I can talk and be long-winded, but thank y'all for having me. We can talk about the project I got out right now, Forever Live, biggest album in the world. I like to call it high vibrational music. It's my debut album. It's going crazy right now. We just passed 500,000 streams.
Congratulations!
You know what I'm saying? So that was a big landmark for me.
Yes,
just coming from nothing, like, you know what I mean? Because we kind of put it together on the whim, just me and my brother Billionberg. Shouts out to Ice Billionberg, man.
You gotta come on the show,
Shouts out to Ice Billionberg, you know what I mean?
We gotta get you on the show, man.
Shouts out to Ice Billionberg.
Can we get you on the show, please?
You know what I mean? I'm gonna send the kite out there. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure he come through. I'm gonna make sure he come through, because he got a project coming. So I'm gonna make sure on this promo run he come through and tap in with y'all.
Please do that.
Yeah, so let me introduce Ice Billionberg for y'all viewers. For the most part, Ice Billionberg is one of the greatest rappers to ever come out of Florida. I like to call him and I don't want to put the comparison, but he's really our Nipsey Hussle down here when it comes to the independent music and pushing Miami independent music forward, just being able to sustain for over 10, 15 years, no label, just on the equity, blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I mean? Created a record company, entertainment company called the Live House. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Live House.
And that's what I've been DJing for Berg for a couple of years outside of him being my real brother. Right. But that's what my project is distributed through the Live House.
Hold on, that's your real brother?
Well, I'm a real brother, but you can call him my real brother.
He might as well say he's your real brother.
Might as well say he's my real brother, man.
You my brother too.
Exactly. Of course.
You locked in now. Well, you gonna get rid of me now. You locked in.
Me and Berg outside. Yeah, that's my sister too. That's my sister. Me and Berg outside of the music, we just really tapped in for the most part. That's why I really call him out, because it's not a music relationship. It's a real
family
brotherhood. So I got Forever Live out right now, distributed through the Live House. Shouts out to my brother Ice Billionberg. came through. We put together this project. It's super dope. I got some of the best up and coming artists.
I can't wait to hear it.
Out of Miami, out of Broward, out of Florida, the best up and coming producers out of the Live House, and we just came together, put together this great album. It's called Forever Live. It's on all streaming platforms. And then November 11th. November 11th.
That's my number.
Okay, all right. So we dropped Forever Live 1, November 11th. We dropping Forever Live 2, November 11th. Coming up right now. What is November 3rd? So like in 2 weeks. So y'all be on the lookout for Forever Live 2.
Can we get an invite to the you know what I'm saying?
Of course, everything.
I'm always asking for invites.
Everything. Of course. So
I'm just up front.
Forever Live 2 on all streaming platforms. So that's the big project.
We got a gift for you.
Oh man, that's love, man.
Something very from our hearts that we want to give you.
I'm always here to take some gifts, man.
It ain't much.
What you mean it ain't much, man? It's something, man.
We wanted to show our appreciation.
For being on the Yo Rabbit and Neil show, we wanted to give you a hoodie to represent of you being on the show.
Oh man, and I'm a rocket probably.
And make sure you see the dope.
And for sure, I see it.
And we want to show you how you can scan it.
Yeah, and it's fly too.
On the other side here. Check it out. So on the arm, you can scan it and it takes you to you cover your phone over it.
Man, it's lit.
It takes you to the site, man.
So man,
thank you so much. So we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
we know when he finish it.
He got the
appreciate y'all,
Yo Rabbit and Neil.
I got some red J's, some blue J's to go with it. Shit fly, man. I appreciate
we're gonna finish it up with a prayer.
Yeah, for sure.
We appreciate you so much. We're gonna finish it up. You know what I mean?
We're gonna wrap it up.
So you want me to do with the prayer?
You know what? Can you do a prayer for us?
Yeah, we could. I could do one for you.
Yeah, do one the way you do it.
All right. So first off, want to thank both of y'all for having me here today. Shouts out to the Yo Rabbit and Neil show. And I just want to ask the universe that he guide us in our steps. He guide us in our thoughts. He protect us. He protect our family. He protect everything we got going. Always be of gratitude. Protect family and just always stay grounded. So I just ask that the universe and whoever you pray to, whoever you believe in,
that's right,
just bless us and keep us grounded, keep us safe and keep us vibrating on the highest of vibration.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So we're going to wrap it up. It's your girl, Jessica Rabbit.
It's your boy, Neil. Next in line, baby.
And this is the Yo Rabbit and Neil. And we are out of here.